let's those are questions I definitely had that I wanted to ask and also that I didn't find other people asking, so it made me want to ask them more. So,
Appreciate it.
oh man, thank you. Um, now let's talk about your new album, man. Let's talk. I mean, this is Have a Nice Life. I saw
Yeah.
you had two visuals, two I would think great visuals. Um, with the whole Black Lives Matter movement going on, I saw you had like was a No More Control, I believe is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So did you were you into the writing of that visual, or did someone come to you
Yeah,
with it?
I participate a little bit in the Strange Music video department. Weighed in heavily on it. It kind of took it from there, and I kind of like that because I'm so literal. So on music, I like to have the director have some better interpretation of what I'm saying. It usually works out best that way. Um, so they kind of led the charge on that, and let my lyrics inspire their visuals. And I really like the narrative. They were able to incorporate a little bit of comic book and a little bit of who I am into it, and also to make something relevant to what's going on now.
Mm-hmm.
And then we didn't know that this whole Baltimore thing would unfortunately take place, and it would be even more relevant than it already was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, pretty powerful. And the other visual was for Okie. What is somebody Okie?
Okie dog.
Yeah, yo, that was. Well, I read that it was about a homeboy of yours who was in jail. When I watched the visual, it kind of played out like I said. It's like almost like a slick Rick tale. It like when you're watching the video, So I mean, so any insight, any more in depth insight just on the video making on a because like I said, people could go out and find what it's about, So I'm kind of just more interested in your concept on the visual, definitely on I thought the funniest joke was if people go watch it, the having like the Asian grandkids.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they asking like what happened with the lady, and it's like yeah, I mean so like so did you write all that, man, or did somebody come to you with that concept?
Dude came to me with the concept. I just had to, being that it's about a real person, I had to talk to my homeboy who was locked up and make sure that some of the visuals coincided with who he is and was in that era.
Yeah.
And, so how he looked and presented and stuff, I was real conscious of. But the whole Asian kids thing is something the director came up with, and like I said, that song is like a slick Rick tale. It's so literal, and there's an actual storyline, but he found some freedom and some artistic freedom within my words to bring that funny and to me brilliant story about the dude's name is Mike Molasco. And I always like to have fun, man, in my videos because I did grow up in the slick Rick era, and I'm heavily influenced by Will Smith. Seriously. Everybody's trying to rap each other's face off or shoot each other, or there's such this strong message, and there's a time and place for that. But I just want to have fun, man, and have something that's colorful and vibrant, and still hood.
Yeah.
People from the hood learning to shine. I know I was ridiculed for that growing up, but I feel like the dudes in Odd Future, they're from the hood and they're bright and they're colorful. Flatbush Zombies, underachievers, like. It's a new movement, man, and you can be,
who you are,
streetwise, and you don't gotta be a punk or whatever it is to be bright and fun. Or for me, I don't smoke dope, so I don't have to be drunk or high to have a good time and to do something fun, and not to judge anyone else who does. It's just I really love that the director was able to find that. Lightheartedness. So I feel like that's what, there's a lot of serious shit going on in the black community as always, but there's some time for some humor as well.
Yo, I just saw this on my notes. Did you get hurt at all when you got body slammed by John Cena?
Yeah. The thing is, Okie Dog, Dog and that. And the Hustle video with John Cena was shot in South Central on the same block. My grandfather owned that block in South Central for 65 years. And my mom now operates the family dry cleaning business there, so we've been there through the Watts riot, through the Watts uprising, the '92 uprising. So we've been there, so we filmed everything there. But yeah, right around the corner is where John Cena slammed me, and we had to do that 5 times. And yeah, that shit hurt, bro. He didn't take it easy. I think they do that so people know. He's super cool, just a homie, but they do it so when you say you want to play, they're gonna play with you for real.
Yeah.
It's like getting Kobe from the court. You think it's easy, but he's gonna give it to you, let you know that I just do what I do. And it's not as easy as it looks.
You strike me as a real humble cat. On this new joint, are there moments for you, or do you ever? But I really want to talk about your new project for people. But do you ever have moments like when you're listening to it, performing the new joints, where you just kind of like really like poke your chest out, like like man, I ripped this one, or like the beats extra banging, or the organic combination of both gives you like a feeling of pride, like an extra pride.
Yeah, man. I feel like definitely when I listen to it, like this time before the album comes out is when I feel that way. When you give it to the people, I think that it belongs to them now, whether they love it or hate it. It takes that edge off of it. It takes some of the pride out of it, because to me now it's ours.
Yeah.
That's how do we feel about this art that you created. But I feel great about it. I love it. And it's still mine when I'm on stage with it, not performing. And people always say I'm kind of soft spoken and whatever, humble or whatever when I'm off stage. But when I'm on stage, it's a war. And I think the best, I never had an embodiment of it outside of myself to look at it, but once again, not to have the delusions of grandeur, but I feel like it's like a Marshawn Lynch thing. Like, I don't really have much to say. When it's time to go, when it's beast month, like when it's game time, like it's on.
Yeah.
But when I'm on stage, like it's a real serious. I feel like I'm in a fight. Because I know my shit go, and I know I can rap.
Yeah.
No matter how much, whether you look at me with your arms crossed or you got your hands in the air, like I know that I'm killing this shit.
Yeah.
And that's the confidence in there. The anger and everything. But on stage, I'm smiling uncontrollably too, because I feel good and I feel confident about what I'm doing, and I'm enjoying myself. But yeah, so I do have that feeling. But once the new songs come out, it'll just be something that I get to relive on stage every night.
Cool shit. Thank you. Is there do you know, or is it something you can share, what would be like another single or release off the project?
I think we got a next song coming up is a visual and a song called Miss Mikey, which is kind of the premise. The beginning of the album, the first song is called Have a Nice Life, and the last song is called I Miss Mikey. It's just celebrating birth, life, and death. It's all part of death is a part of life. And I Miss Mikey was made in honor of my friends that I passed away. In particular, Idea, whose real name his government name is Michael Larson, and just how we have to unfortunately accept death, and I've seem to have brushed shoulders with it more often than some of my friends and family. So the next video will be called I Miss Mikey. It just I feel like for the heads and for the hip hop heads, there's not too many songs about that. Like it's always the Thug, like I Miss My Homies, and Smile by Tupac, and So Many Tears. It's probably got a lot of shit about that.
No doubt.
And I find myself always listening to those songs, like Gangsta Lean by BRS, but I feel like recently nobody's been making those songs, so I kind of wanted to make my version of that song. The beat that my producer gave me was real challenging, and I didn't want to write to it, and he was really insistent about me writing to it, so I try to follow that lead, because I learned that from Ninth Wonder as well. The beat for a song we have called LA, a lot of those beats I didn't like, and I didn't want to rap to, but I did because he wanted me to, and it turned out great.
Yeah.
There's a lot to be said for trusting your producer. So he kept pushing his beat on me, and I was like, all right, all right. And it's like it's not in 4/4 time, it's in 3/3 time.
Okay. So you got to do a different bounce. Okay.
Yeah, so da 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 da. Kind of like Migos, I guess they do 3/3. And that's not my shit, you know. But he kept pressing me, and one day on tour, I was just like, man, I miss Nike like so much, and I was like, that frustration, like I have to write to this beat, but I don't want to. I have to accept my friend is gone, but I don't want to, and those feelings match for me, and so I put that into that song.
Cool stuff, man. I'm glad you put it into like a musical time form also, only because it was a column. I want to say it was in a vibe, like a vibe writer, like right after Jay drops, like they come out with like Money Cash Hoes. It's like a column. I never forget this. He was like talking about the limitations of hip hop and like how to always just being full time, and he was like describing how you could just kind of like cut and paste hip hop. You know what I'm saying? So I'm real glad that you had like that answer like right there. You know what I'm saying? Like that the culture, the music goes beyond full time and 94 beats per minute per second or whatever, however it goes. Is there now, like you talking about you produce on the album, and this is like more like the generic questions, as we kind of come to the end of the things that I have for you, but who are producers that are on the album, or is it just, or are you still like teaming up with one, like partnering up with a producer?
I don't think I'll do that ever again, but I kind of took notes from. I study a lot, and I study Reasonable Doubt, which is not a favorite Jay-Z album of mine. My least favorite Jay-Z albums.
Okay.
But people love it, and it was well put together. And then Ready to Die, which is one of my favorite records. And even studying Strictly for My Niggas, like having one producer as the core producer, surrounding it with other producers seems to be a good way to make a great record. And so Jesse Shatkin is a childhood friend of mine, is the main producer. He did 8 of the songs. And then Mayday, who I did MURS Day with last year.
Right.
And they did 4, and I wanted to record with them because they had been on tour with me, and they had recorded with me, and they got to know who I was now as an artist. And then Jesse has known who I am since we were 14. So it was a good combination of people who really felt with me, and I've wondered, I never got that chance to tour together, and I think it would have added more depth to our music.
Yeah.
When you see how the fans are reacting, and I think Mayday had that insight, so we were able to create some great music. And the other 2 producers is Curtis King and this kid named Arsonist, and those are really, I have a good relationship with Curtis, but just beats that I picked, but I had Jesse oversee everything as far as the beats that Mayday were submitting, and the songs we did, and the beats submitted by outside producers. I would send them to him and say, do you like this? Does this fit our project? And I'll let him have some input on the overall sound and feel. So I guess, in a way, he kind of oversaw, or A&R executive produced it. I don't know how you want to credit it.
Okay.
So there was, there's 2 overseers, he and I, and then Dave Weiner, who works for the label, helped oversee and pick songs and cultivate one overall sound. But there's more than one producer on this project.
Cool.